Hi, everyone, and welcome to Devotions today. The Bible, as you know, is a very, very important book to Christians. It's the foundation of everything that we believe. And this is what the Apostle Paul wrote about it in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 16. He said, "All scripture is God breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness, so that the man and woman of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work." It is the heart of our faith. John Wesley said, "I'm a man of one book." He read many books, but he says that is the one book by which I live. Now, we have our Bible in English. We don't realize the price that people had to pay in order to be able to get our Bible to us in our own language. Because the Bible was originally written in three languages. It was written in Hebrew and a little bit of Aramaic. Those are the languages of the Old Testament. And then the New Testament was written in Greek. Now, there are 7,000 languages in the world today, we're told. And unless people can read the Bible in their own language, they're not going to be able to get the message and the teaching that the Bible brings. So it's a huge, huge challenge. Now, I want to tell you about one man called William Tyndale. And he was an Englishman, and he lived in England from 1494 to 1536. And he was a brilliant scholar. He could speak all sorts of languages. He could speak French, he could speak Greek, he could speak Hebrew, he could speak Latin, he could speak German, Spanish, Italian. He was fluent in all these languages, and he had an incredible gift for translation. But he was also a controversial figure because he was very much part of the movement of the Reformation. And so he was critical of the church of his day, and also he opposed King Henry VIII when Henry wanted to divorce Catherine of Aragon so he could marry Anne Boleyn. So his life was on the line, with the result that he escaped to Belgium, and it was there in Belgium that he began to translate the Bible into English. And our old King James Version that many of us grew up with was about 80% the words of William Tyndale. So his work lasted for centuries and is still with us today. In Belgium, they hunted him down. The spies found him. In the meantime, he was sending his English translation across the English Channel, and he would put these Bibles into bales of cloth so that they could be hidden. They were smuggled. Also, he would take pages of his translation and he would put them inside other books so that they could find them inside books on law and so on. And so it was a dangerous thing in those days to have a Bible in English. Well, finally, they made the decision to execute William Tyndale, to execute him for heresy. And he was, first of all, strangled to death, and then his body was burnt at the stake. But before he died, he had this one prayer. He said, "Oh Lord, please open the King of England's eyes." And a number of years later, after Tyndale's death, yes, the king did eventually ask for every church in England to have a copy of this translation, the King James Version, which is mainly Tyndale's work. But it was a dangerous thing to have a Bible, and you were hunted down if you had an English Bible. Sometimes those who were hunting them down would even find the children of the families that they suspected and say, "Has your father got the book?" And if the children were tricked into saying yes, well, then the parents were executed and they were burnt at the stake. The Bible was tied around their necks with a rope. And together with the Bible, they were consumed in fire. Also, the Bishop of London at that stage piled all these translations that were done by William Tyndale. He piled them up on the steps of St. Paul's Cathedral. Naughty books, he called them, and he set them all ablaze. He burnt all those Bibles. Friends, the Bible has come to us at great cost. People have put their lives at risk in order, number one, to translate the Bible, but also to possess the Bible and to read and to study the Bible. Let us take the Bible seriously. Let us make it the heart of our own lives. Let us read it daily and mark it and digest it, as the scripture says. And I pray that it will enable you to grow closer to God and deeper in your knowledge of him and your love for him. God bless as you go into this week. Bye for now.